everyone, thank you for choosing Night Sky.
Om Shanti, everybody.
Om
Welcome to this platform and on our Thursday evening talks, as we used to have every week. Today we have the pleasure of having among us an eminent personality, Professor Sharma from Punjab, India. Professor Sharma holds a Doctor of Medicine as well as a PhD in Ayurveda, and he's currently at the University of Mauritius, more specifically in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, where he's serving as an academic chair in Ayurveda. He is deputed by the Ministry of AYUSH, which basically falls under the government of India to promote Ayurveda in Mauritius. Professor Sharma is somebody well-versed in alternative medicine and is in Mauritius to promote aspects related to the concept of using indigenous and alternative medicine in Mauritius. He has been involved in a number of talks on TV series, even on YouTube. His knowledge is really very important, especially when we are talking about how to use simple foodstuff that we have at home, simple spices, just to boost our immunity. Today's talk is entitled Natural Ways to Boost Immunity, and I welcome everybody on platform tonight. Without further ado, I'll leave the floor to Professor Sharma, who will give us a background on Ayurveda a little bit, what are indigenous and alternative medicines, and how, especially in winter, we can try to boost our immune system. Thank you. And Professor Sharma, the floor is yours, please.
Brother Rajesh, a few words from Sister Rupa, words of blessing before we pass over to Professor.
Yes, sure, yeah.
Om Shanti. A very, very hearty welcome to all our brothers and sisters who are present and very eager to listen to our special guest today. Now who has so many experiences, and we all like to enjoy a good health. Of course, the blessing of the Supreme Father is there, but the expertise and the vast knowledge now from Professor Sharma, now we are going to enjoy so many new things that we learn and which will enhance our health. So say very, very hearty welcome to all of you, and also a big thanks to our dear brother, now Professor Sharma, and also the coordinator of this program, Brother Rajesh Jivan. Thank you so much. And we are really eager to listen to the new ways to enjoy a good health. And also, together with our physical health, we need our spiritual health, our connection with the Supreme, and the meditation and medication and our nutrition, all these gave us best comfort in our life. And so we like to enjoy a very comfortable life with all this knowledge and enjoy better health. So thank you so much. So we would like to listen to Professor Sharma. Om Shanti.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction, Dr. Rajesh Jeevan, and namaskar to all. I did not come up with some slides because then we could be rushing through the slides and we can have a very casual interactive discussion. I will be requesting you to please unmute and question me as and when required, so that we can clarify the things then and there. As suggested by Dr. Rajesh Jeevan, I can be introducing what Ayurveda is. Ayurveda is believed to be the oldest healthcare system in the world. How old? Some historians believe this could be only like 2000 years old. On the other hand, there are more historians who believe this is not less than 50,000 years old. So there is a vast variation, and the government of India, the Ministry of AYUSH, goes by the figure 5,000. So whenever we talk, we quote, okay, Ayurveda is 5,000 years old. That is a generic, like a moderate kind of figure, which we all agree and accept and we quote. So this is the oldest existing healthcare system. And is this of a historical value only? Okay, this is something from Vedas and something which was very important. Does it hold any relevance today? Then I very strongly believe it holds more relevance than ever today, because more and more people require it. The way the lifestyles are taking a dip, we are having a free fall in the lifestyle quality. So this becomes more and more important. We can observe that with the improving science, the quality of life is going down. Even when it comes to the medical health, the medical conditions which were witnessed when you were like the 50 plus, 60 plus, 70 plus, like diabetes or heart disease or cancer, they were not coming before you were 60 or 70 years old. Now we see heart attacks taking place in young people like 20, 25 years of age. Diabetes is coming to them when they are 20 years of age, which was not seen before 50 years of age, like 50 years back. So with the improving healthcare science, with the improving medical science, the quality of life somehow is not improving. So something is missing somewhere. That is where alternative medicines become more relevant and more important. And in the most unfortunate times of COVID-19, we again discovered another aspect of Ayurveda where this could really deliver immunity to the patients, COVID positive or exposed or negative. They really could fare very well during these tough COVID times. So after this history of Ayurveda, where does it come from? The current scenario is we have got a 5.5 years graduation program, which is like equal to MBBS when it comes to duration. Then we have to study all the Western medical sciences along with Ayurveda. We study all yoga, meditation, and alternate medicines also as one subject in Ayurveda graduation. Then you can opt for post-graduation. Then we have got 25 subjects where you can undertake your post-graduation, and PhD is a final study which you still can take. And Ayurveda is being promoted by the government of India in many ways, in many new ways, which was not done earlier. Now, one such endeavor is to set up academic chair in Ayurveda medicine at various universities. The government of India, Ministry of AYUSH, has got an agreement with 13 countries. And out of 13, 2 chairs are active today. One, I am at Mauritius, and another friend is at Latvia in Europe. She is an Ayurveda chair in Latvia. 11 others are vacant and soon be occupied by some experts, and Ayurveda would be delivered in a new manner in those 11 countries also. So the topic of the day, if I come to the topic of the day, how can we boost immunity with natural means? Whenever it comes to Ayurveda, how can we deliver a preventive aspect, or how can we treat the patient? We always have got 4 protocols. We have got 4 approaches. The most important being the diet. What do you eat? How do you eat? The second is lifestyle, which includes yoga, meditation, and your exercise and your addictions. The third are a few herbs, like whatever preventive or curative like goal you have got, then we have got some relevant herbs. And the fourth one is Panchkarma detoxification, which is very, very powerful to periodically detox your body. Because Ayurveda believes with the passage of time, when we are born with a new machinery, like you buy a new vehicle, everything is brand new. So a child is born, every like organ is brand new. Then we start using that car, or we start using this body. The car goes into wear and tear. In the same manner, the body also goes into wear and tear. Howsoever like you preserve it, but with the passage of time, like after 20 years, 40 years, 60, 80 years, this has to deteriorate. You could take very well care of your car, but still when it is very old, like it's like 10, 15, 20, 30 years old, your car will eventually break down. Every part would go weak. And despite you are taking very good care, you are going for a periodic service, etc. But with this vehicle, with the human body, we do not undertake any service mechanism. We are incessantly using it. We are making a very bad trade-off, a very bad deal by using it, and using it without giving any time to repair, without taking it for service anywhere. And that is how we keep on accumulating toxins in the body. With the age, with the stress, wrong eating habits, so much of chemicals around, so much of pollution, and by your given gene set, because of so much of onslaught, the toxins keep accumulating. And Ayurveda says those toxins will be circulating into your body and will try to target the weakest organ. Like a lion chasing a herd of animals would be catching the slowest running animal or the weakest animal and would kill that animal. In the same manner, the toxins would be circulating and they try to attack every organ, because every organ has got an individual immunity also. Maybe whatever your general immunity is, maybe your liver could be more weak because you used to have more fats and more alcohol. Maybe your lungs could be more weak because you used to smoke a lot. Your skin could be weaker because you work with chemicals, or your eyes could be weak because you work on screen a lot, you know. So depending upon all this, and with the given genetics from your parents, what chromosomes did you have from your parents, still by default, by birth, some of your organs could be weaker, and the circulating toxins can accumulate there and give you a particular illness. Now, to get rid of these toxins, we have to undertake a periodic detoxification called Panchkarma. Panchkarma is a very simple natural procedure which can be undertaken with an Ayurveda doctor, and normally anyone can take it. Like we have got a protocol, like 1 day in the month of March, 7 days in the month of June, and 1 day in the month of September. If you spare 9 days for your body, then you can be having like very effective Panchkarma, which can get rid of maximum of your toxins. So now Panchkarma will be required as a preventive tool to give you more immunity and also to cure the diseases. Now, with what herbs do we give Panchkarma? This varies upon the goal. Like if we are targeting your immunity, then the herbs would be different. We are targeting your diabetes or obesity or arthritis or any other problem, then the herbs would be different. That is how we make a selection of the herbs depending upon the patient and the health condition. We select and we prepare some herbal preparations and we deliver Panchkarma. The most important tool, Ayurveda says, which is the most powerful medicine, then the answer from Ayurveda is food. Your food is the most important medicine. That is where you have to be very, very careful with your food, because food we all are consuming like twice or thrice a day. All our life we are eating food every time. A medicine you could be eating someday you have got a headache, you have taken a Panadol. Someday you had some infection, you took some antibiotics for 3 days or 5 days. So those conventional medicines like painkillers or antibiotics or multivitamins, you could rarely be taking. Whenever there is a condition, once in a year or twice in a year, you could be taking some tablets. But food is such a medicine which you are taking multiple times every day. So a very small error committed regarding the food will be having a very big effect, because you will not be knowing your error and you keep on repeating, and it will accumulate into a very big picture later on. That is where we have to be very, very careful with our dietary habits. Now I'll be focusing upon this because a right dietary habit will be giving you immense immunity, the best a human being can have, because we have got various microbes like bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa, helminth. Those attack us, and we have got a natural immunity to fight against some of them, and against some we have got no immunity. Like for example, rabies or AIDS or hepatitis. There are some various viruses, various dangerous viruses against which the human race has got no immunity. So still there are many, like common cold, rhinovirus. COVID also is a kind of rhinovirus. We see that whenever there is an infection or a common cold in a family, everyone is not taken ill. Maybe there are 4 members, 2 have got running nose and fever, the other 2 are fine. They are not having the same disease. Despite the virus being there in the family, they are in close contact. In the COVID times also we saw that some tested positive, some did not. Some were having more symptoms, some were not having more symptoms. The virus was the same, COVID-19 virus. But because of individualized immunity, everyone has got a different response. Now, what can be the best food habits? What are the biggest mistakes we make with our diet? Ayurveda dietetics is very clear. The most important principle in Ayurveda dietetics, what we have to be very careful about is never to overeat. You should only be eating when you are hungry. And many of us might not have experienced what is real hunger, because we always are eating before time. We eat by the clock. When the clock tells it's 8 o'clock in the morning, you take your breakfast. Clock tells it's 12 o'clock, then you are taking lunch. Now clock says it's 6 o'clock in the evening or 7 o'clock, then you are taking your dinner. Then you are 100% driven by the wall clock, and you never look inside the body clock. Does your body require food or not? That is why more are dying of overeating than starvation. There are very few countries which really have got like a very great hunger index, and the kids are not receiving enough nutrition and they are suffering badly from hunger. But rest of the world, maximum are dying of overeating than starvation. Now, what happens if we overeat or we eat without hunger? Then what happens is we end up producing more and more free radicals. Where do free radicals come from? The most important sources for free radicals are stress and overeating. If you are stressed, then your stress hormones are up, and that will be disturbing all your metabolism, and you will end up having more free radicals. And secondly, if you eat more food, then you will be converting more food into like a waste and energy, and that is where you end up producing more and more free radicals. Now, what do free radicals do? Free radicals are responsible for every kind of disease, aging, and death. There have been various studies. Why do we die? So what if we are 100 years of age? Why don't we live up to 200 years? What is the mechanism of aging and death? the most important mechanism behind aging and death is free radical damage or oxidative stress. Free radicals are called oxidants. So oxidative stress is the most important cause behind diseases because it would be leading to genetic mutations, cell wall failure, and protein denaturation. Your proteins would be altered. That is how we end up having diseases and premature death. So you have to be very careful. Like there are three levels of a desire to eat. It can be a lust. When you have finished your meal, still someone comes with a very delicious kind of sweet, then you just finish your lunch or dinner, but you still can have that particular sweet or something of your great choice. That is called lust. If you remove that item from in front of you, then you might not be requiring to eat that. The second is appetite. Now, appetite is driven by circadian cycle. That is, we are tuned to eating at particular times. Because we are doing it every day, the body prepares the atmosphere every day, and every day at 12 o'clock, you feel like eating. Because that is a conditioned reflex. That is called appetite. And the third, which is a real one, is hunger. Hunger will be when you cannot focus upon any activity, you cannot work, and your thoughts are regular, like non-stop, you are thinking about food and you want to eat. And the most important signal for hunger is you will be preferring to eat even what you don't like. There is a particular food, for example, or a particular fruit which you don't like. But when you're hungry, then that particular food or fruit or any item of your disliking will also give you equal satisfaction, and you will be happy eating that. So that is the real indication that you are hungry now. So we have to get rid of overeating, you have to go for periodic fasting, intermittent fasting. Ayurveda has very clearly told, if you are hungry, you have got 100% hunger, 50% your stomach should be filled with the solid food, 25% with the liquid, and 25% should be left vacant, left empty for the air movement or for the food movement. You should not fill your stomach up to 100%. And there has been a study called calorie restriction theory. This study has been going on for last 50 years. Its various legs in various countries have been going on, and they came up with a very wonderful experiment where some laboratory animals were given food in different volumes. One set of lab animals were given 100% food. The second set was given 90%, then 80%, 70%, 60%, 50, 40, 30, 20, reducing volumes of food were given to various animal sets. And after certain time, after a week in this case, they observed that the animals which received 70 to 80% food were the healthiest, their blood parameters were most wonderful, and they lived up to 140% of their life expectancy. They lived almost 1.5 times in that very life. And those receiving food less than 50% or more than 80% were not healthy. Surely those receiving like 10, 20, 30% only were very weak. So the ideal figure they worked out was you should be eating between 70 to 80% of your appetite. And exactly this is the number, this is the figure advocated by Ayurveda like 10,000 years back. That is, you should be eating by 25% less of your full appetite. You should be filling your stomach up to 75% only. So overeating is a very, very important phenomenon. And the second most important phenomenon is you have to be eating at right time. You have to reset your cycle, like your appetite cycle can be reset. And you should be eating on right time. You should never be overeating. And how much times one should be eating? Now, there is not one principle, but Ayurveda has very clearly told this is the best to eat once a day, or a worldly person can eat twice a day, and a patient would be eating thrice a day. So, simplifying it, yogi, which is a divine person or a rishi muni kind of person, who is enlightened, yogi would be eating once a day. Bhogi, who is a normal worldly person, average person, would be eating twice a day. And a rogi, that is a patient, would be eating thrice a day. So yogi once a day, bhogi would be eating twice a day, and a rogi, a patient, would be eating thrice a day. The third meal you are eating is actually for the doctors, so that you are taken up ill and you go to doctors, and your doctors can also survive. They also stay in business. That is where eating 3 times is just not a good practice. There are exceptions. We are talking about the healthy persons only. If you're a diabetic, then small frequent meal would suit you. That is, you should be eating 5-6 times a day, very small meals. But those are exceptions. But a general healthy person should preferably be eating once a day or not more than twice a day. The second is wrong food combinations. Ayurveda believes we are totally ignorant these days. We are not practicing what are bad food combinations. Simplifying it, I would be suggesting you to avoid milk consumption. You should not drink a lot of milk, and milk should not be taken with the salt, with any non-vegetarian food or egg. Milk should not be taken with fruits. No fruit can be taken with milk. Ayurveda is very clear. All the fruits originally are of sour nature, and sour doesn't go with milk. So with salt, with spices, and with the fruits, you should not take milk. This is a bad food combination and would be leading to multiple kind of allergies. Now we can tell we have been eating like fruits with milk or fruits with salt all our life, but we did not feel any allergy or any reaction or any problem. There are a few things which do not manifest like very soon. They keep on building inside, and later on, at some later on stage, they build up in another form where we cannot correlate. But Ayurveda was very clear: milk should not be taken with these few items. This can be a very good, very bad combination. Apart from these food habits, when it comes to the second parameter after food, we have got lifestyle. Then regular physical exercise, stress management, and meditation, yoga, pranayama will be giving you wonderful immunity. What does meditation do? It has been proven that when you are meditating in any form, the meditation will be increasing some happy hormones in your body and would be decreasing the stress hormones. And a very important hormone in this regard is acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is a kind of a parasympathetic hormone, which is 100% anti to, which is against adrenaline. But acetylcholine is 1,000 times stronger than adrenaline. So by this we can imagine, if you can meditate for like 10 minutes a day, then you can be having enough of like acetylcholine, which is anti-adrenaline, for next 24 hours. So out of 24 hours, 10 minutes of meditation can give you enough of good hormones to give you, like to enable you to handle all the stress for next 24 hours. So meditation is very valuable, very like rewarding in real time. You cannot think that, okay, what's happening? If I'm meditating, I can't see any change. I've been meditating for like 1 month, 2 months, or 1 year, 2 years, or 10 years, 20 years. I didn't see any change. I sit in meditation, I get up, I don't see any change, but changes are there, which you might not notice. The changes are very much evident at the hormonal level. Your stress hormones are going down for sure, and happy hormones, oxytocin, dopamine, and acetylcholine, they are increasing in concentration, which are helping you. Next comes what can be a few good herbs to boost immunity. Maybe if you have got some question to ask up to like diet and lifestyle, then I can stop for a minute. We can have some interaction. Then I can go ahead with some important herbs. So anyone if has got something to ask, can please intervene.
Yes, Professor Sharma,
Yes.
Rajesh, yeah. Thank you for this talk. Again, it's very good for the time being. I'm appreciating it, especially with the caloric restriction and the scientific principles behind it. There is something that is always debatable when it comes to diet. I know a lot of people, especially from AYUSH, will favor restricting to a vegetarian diet. Maybe can you just try to summarize, maybe in a couple of minutes, about why is it important to maybe to adopt more of a vegetarian lifestyle? And do you think that people who are consuming, let's say, non-veg, but maybe on occasional basis, for example, thrice per week, which is uh, what sometimes routine people do, will this have an effect? Maybe, or
Okay.
maybe will this have long-term consequences and so on? Yes,
Right.
Professor.
Yes. The Ayurveda viewpoint is very clear. Ayurveda never said that you cannot have non-vegetarian food. Ayurveda did mention 8 types of meat, like depending upon what kind of that animal is, like fish or animals living around water bodies, or birds, or the animals which live with the human beings. You know, there have been 8 kinds of animals, and their meat can be consumed. What are the properties of those meats? How are they good? How are they bad? Everything is mentioned in Ayurveda. So consuming meat in a way is not a no from Ayurveda. But on the other hand, if we compare the intestinal structure of human intestines, it is more like vegetarian animals, like herbivores. And on the contrary, the carnivores have got much smaller intestine, and they have got a much stronger hydrochloric acid. Their digestive enzymes are very strong. That is how we can see that a non-veg, like a non-veg eating animal or a carnivore, can digest anything. Many of them can digest bones and feathers and skin and everything. They swallow the other animal whole, and they can still digest it, because they have got very strong digestive enzymes. So our digestive enzymes being more like herbivores, the intestine being so long, it is believed, and we not having like prominent canines. We don't have canines like to tear the flesh, and the denture is more like herbivores. We have got more of molars and premolars, which are for grinding, not for cutting. Observing all these facts, we believe human being is naturally more like a herbivore and should be consuming more and more of vegetarian food. There have been like many instances where meat eaters have been linked to many more diseases as compared to like vegetarian human beings. This can be various cancers or various like autoimmune disorders, and especially like long-term cooking. If meat is cooked for long-term beyond 300 degrees centigrade, then the proteins are more denatured and they can be more harmful. They can bring it various diseases. That is where my observation is, did Ayurveda say no to meat? No. Ayurveda mentioned 8 types of meats with their qualities and with their pros and cons. What are the good qualities? What are the bad qualities? And on the other hand, my observation is we are naturally more vegetarian, and we all should practice vegetarianism as much as possible. But Ayurveda is not a religious textbook. It is a healthcare and medical text. So irrespective of any religion, it talks only and only about your health. This is the Ayurveda take upon non-vegetarianism. So any more question? Otherwise, we go ahead with Okay. Now we can talk about a few herbs which are reputed to boost your immunity. The most important herbs to boost your immunity, I would be first of all recommending curcuma, haldi. Haldi or curcuma or turmeric is the best to boost immunity. You should be taking more of it. And a very simple formula which can suit all is to drink 5 grams of curcuma in hot water first thing in the morning. When you get up, you should take a cup of warm water, hot water, mix some curcuma and drink it first thing in the morning. Curcuma is believed to be the best antioxidant, best anti-diabetic, best for arthritis, pains, anti-inflammatory, and for obesity and whatnot. That is where taking more curcuma will be helpful against multiple diseases and it will boost your immunity. After curcuma, to boost immunity, I would be recommending ginger. Ginger is a very powerful antioxidant and a very powerful immunity booster. It would be boosting your immunity at the lungs level, liver. It would be detoxing your liver and intestines. At all the 3 levels, ginger is a wonderful medicine. And very interestingly, which is better, dry ginger or fresh ginger? Dry curcuma or fresh curcuma? Fresh, as per Ayurveda, is food and dry is medicine. That is where dry ginger and dry curcuma are much more effective than fresh ginger or fresh curcuma. Fresh are okay as food, but dry are much more stronger and much more effective. And there is change in alkaloids also. Fresh ginger will be having gingerin and the dry ginger will be having shoagols. And shoagols are 6 times more stronger than gingerin. That is how dry ginger is 6 times stronger than fresh ginger and will be giving you much more immunity than fresh ginger. So you can consume fresh also in your food, but you should focus upon dry ginger and dry curcuma. Dry curcuma is much more effective than fresh curcuma. After these 2, the third herb for immunity, which is very much available in Mauritius, is amla. All Indians very well know about amla. Mauritius has got so many trees, so many amla trees. Amla is a wonderful antioxidant, wonderful source for all immunity boosting phytochemicals. There is another very important herb called guduchi. Guduchi might not be available in Mauritius, but it is very easy to grow and we are planning to plant it more and more. Guduchi, Tinospora cordifolia, is again a wonderful immunity booster. When it comes to lung immunity, then tulsi is very, very important. Tulsi, what we grow at homes, is a very strong immunity booster, especially for the lungs. In the COVID times, we used ginger and tulsi in the maximum capacity, wherever we could use. These 2 were the herbs of choice when it came to COVID-19. I'll not be naming many. Ashwagandha is another very important herb which has got a proven record, a proven evidence-based record regarding boosting immunity. So curcuma, ginger, ashwagandha, guduchi and amla. I believe these 5 names could be sufficient because these are the top rankers when it comes to boosting immunity. And lastly is what we spoke in the beginning, is a periodic detoxification, panchkarma. Panchkarma is very simple and it can be delivered at OPD levels only. You need not get admitted. It is not non-invasive. You do not undertake any surgery or any injection. You are not administered any chemicals. No harsh medicine is given. It is a very natural process. Panchkarma, as the name says, Panchkarma, 5 procedures. The first is to induce vomiting, which is a very methodical protocol. We have to prepare the body first. We have to make the toxins loose, then we induce vomiting for the upper 1/3 of the GIT. Now, gastrointestinal tract, as per Ayurveda, is the most important organ in the human body. Gastrointestinal tract is more important than heart or brain or liver or kidney. no organ is as important as gastrointestinal tract. That is where it could be preventive medicine, it could be curative medicine. All the Ayurveda approaches depend upon detoxifying, clearing your gastrointestinal tract. So, Vaman is the therapeutic emesis, is the first Panchkarma. Virechan is a kind of a purgation, which again is very controlled, is the second one. Then we have got two types of enemas, which are given per rectal, which is the most powerful of the five. Out of five Panchkarma, Vasti or enema is the most powerful. And the last one is Nasya, where we put some oil drops in the nostrils. It again is a procedure. We prepare the body, we give some massage and steam, then we put some particular oil in the nostrils. This is Nasya. Now, Nasya, for example, can be taken by everyone every day. And you can, putting it very simple, you can start with coconut oil or mustard oil, like 3 drops each nostril when you go to bed. This is very, very effective against multiple health conditions in head and neck area, and surely will be boosting your immunity, because mouth and nose are the gateways, are the entry tracts for microbes. Our mouth and nasal cavity will always be housing hundreds of types of microbes. If we just take a swab, we can culture hundreds of microbes from our mouth and nose, but we are not having hundreds of diseases because we have got certain immunity. So these are like some Panchkarma procedures. Yes, Dr. Jeevan, maybe you can please ask some question.
Yes, Professor. In Mauritius, in here, people have got the habit of using a lot of onion and garlic. And based on scientific evidence, you will see garlic has got so many good properties. For example, anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties as well. But as far as I know, there is some concerns about the use of onion and garlic from an Ayurvedic perspective because of the tamasic and rajasic properties. And there are even some people in India who are dead against the use of onion and garlic because of, those negative aspects surrounded to it. How would you balance it? Do you think if we in our kitchen are using a lot of onion garlic, will it convey beneficial properties to us, or maybe we should get rid of it?
Okay. This is a very wonderful question. See, onion and garlic, because they are very strong in aroma. So when we are into habit of using more and more, when we are taste driven, when we are gripped by the tongue and we want more aroma, more taste, then we are, these are tamasic properties, because a tamasic soul will be driven by taste and smell. If we go to Panch Mahabhuta, like there are 5 elements, we know that Prithvi, Jal, Tej, Vayu and Akash. Now, the most basic element, which is the most dull or heaviest, which is the most tamasic, is Prithvi. And Prithvi has got a direct representation through smell, because these 5 elements are linked to one sensation each. Now, Prithvi or earth, which is the heaviest, is linked to smell. Then we have got water, which is linked to taste, tongue. And the third is fire or Agni, which is linked to eyesight. And then we have got air, which is linked to touch, touch sensation. And the last one, Akasha, which is the lightest, is linked to sound. That is where, when we are driven by taste and when we are driven by these strong aromas, now smell and taste, they come from the heaviest of the Panch Mahabhuta, that is earth and water. And heaviness means dullness, and dullness is tamasic, because your mind is getting dull, you are no way able to process the information, and you are like your animal instincts are there, you are driven by a taste and smell. That is where, if we can tune our senses to less and less of this so-called pleasure, that is, we don't smell a lot in food, then we surely will, when you are not driven by these temptations, then you could be channelized towards a higher consciousness, and you can get out of these tamasic properties, as you very rightly put. That is where training our senses towards less and less of stimulation is very, very important in self-control, self-regulation. I could be, with my eyes, I could be watching something very temporarily pleasing, like some movies or some video games, you know. With my ears, I am always busy listening to some funny music or funny gossips. That is where you have to control your five senses. Ayurveda is very clear. Controlling these five senses is very, very difficult. And many example is given, like many species, many animals are driven to their end by a single sense organ. And what would happen to a human being who's being controlled by five senses? And every sense is there, like every sense organ is there to control you and tempts you to have more and more of that particular sensation. That is where, if we can practice less and less of garlic and onion and other strong aroma food items, then surely we will be having time and energy to channelize and to experience some higher entities. Yes, Dr. Jeevan.
Thank you. I leave the floor now for the audience to ask any question or to comments, if any.
So, okay, I believe there are not some questions for the time being. Still, we can, as and when you have got a question, you surely can send it to me anytime later on also. So maybe the time being almost complete, I overshot by some 10-15 minutes, I believe. So maybe I would like to conclude for the time being, and looking forward to talking to you again in future. Dr. Jeevan, please.
Thank you, Professor Sharma, for these delightful insights. I'm really very happy to have you on our platform today. It has really helped to clarify some misunderstanding that not only me but maybe all the participants in here regarding their use of spices. There are things that we use on a daily basis. For example, we use parsley, we use coriander, we use onion springs, we use celery, we use thyme, and so many other mint, for example. People are not so familiar with tulsi leaves in Mauritius in food, but I do realize that in India people do use a lot of tulsi leaves, infusion of tulsi leaves for healthy purposes. In Mauritius we use a lot of mint as well. Some people now are getting used to basil. I think most of them are related members when it comes to plant taxonomy. And I do hope that maybe the Mauritian population continues to understand the significance of those particular herbs that we use in our kitchen, especially from a scientific perspective, from an Ayurvedic perspective, how these can be useful and how we can exploit them for our healthy benefits. There is a message in chat in here from one of my students, Himanshu Krishna Sona. Hello, Dr. Sharma. This feels like being in class again with you. Are we not sent on this earth to discover the world? Why not discover and restrict ourselves? I think he wants to ask that why should we restrict maybe to a particular diet, or maybe why should we restrict ourselves maybe to specific plants or whatever and herbs? and why not, open up a little bit and try to consume what nature has given us.
Yes, maybe my reply to Himanshu will be, we are given a very short lifespan, Himanshu. Now you can decide going more north or going more south. That is, you want to like evolve to higher faculties, or you want to downgrade. And because you cannot learn everything, you have to choose your path. You cannot trade every path. So that is where you have to make a right decision, that should I enlighten myself, should I lift myself up with wonderful people, with wonderful creative ideas, or you can downgrade also, exploring how do criminals work, what are the bad things, one bad thing, then second, then third, life is very short. So you have to make a choice. And I believe that, yeah, that is where when we start, we have to see like which direction are we going. So surely this small lifespan should be utilized in the most positive manner, so that you can leave behind a really appreciable memory, that yeah, that person left, and that is the legacy you leave behind will again will be living much longer after you and after us. That is where we have to make right choices, Himanshu, and yeah, I believe that will help you.
There is one
Yes, please, yeah, Dr. Ji.
more message in chat. Okay, it's about it. Thank you. Okay, Professor Sharma, again, thank you very much. Maybe there's one more question. Maybe we can take this. Should we always consume turmeric powder with pepper powder for it to be efficient? I repeat, should we
Yes,
always
yes. Yeah, I
consume
read that.
turmeric powder with pepper for it to be efficient?
Yeah. See, pepper is the best bioenhancer we have got, because this has got mild stimulating and irritating effect because of piperine. When whatever like you eat, if you consume little pepper, black pepper with it, then your digestion would be stimulating, and the bioavailability of all your food ingredients will be enhanced. Your food would be digested better. It would be assimilated better if you consume black pepper. That is where black pepper, being the best bioenhancer, should be consumed much more than what we use. It is wonderful herb.
Thank you, Professor Sharma, especially for giving us pertinent answers to most of our queries. Even Brinda, Sinandani, thanking you. Again, I would like to recap a little bit about what you said at the very beginning. It's like sometimes whenever we eat, we are just eating for pleasure sometimes. And we are not looking into the aspect of nutrients, into the aspect of survival, into the aspect of strengthening our body, but we are most focused on foods related to giving us pleasure. Again, thank you, Professor Sharma, for your delightful insights today. Well appreciated. And unfortunately, we are restricted with time in here. I think if ever we are planning to give another talk, we will welcome you again on a different topic related to Ayurvedic medicine. I'll leave the floor now to Sister Rekha, maybe to thank you, and then we'll proceed ahead.
Om Shanti to all, and thank you, Brother Rajesh. And thank you so much to our guest speaker, Professor Sharma, for such insightful and knowledgeful and such bright presentation. We have been learning so much from you. There are no words to thank you for all that you have shared. It has not only enlightened us, but it has been a proper guide to us. We want to learn more, but we are restricted by time. And certainly, as Brother Rajesh has been sharing, we are going to invite you on our platform for more information and more insight for a better health, because we all understand the value of health today. And you rightly concluded that we have only one life in this life, and it's so short, and we have to make a choice what we want to make out of this life. And this not only full, because we've already lived so much of that life, the little bit that is left, it depends on our choice and our decision. And whatever you have shared have guided us surely, certainly, in our decision of what we make of our life and what we make of our health. And you've given such a broad, global, holistic approach to health. You've been talking about diet, you've been talking about yoga and meditation, you've been talking about the use of herbs. It has been a holistic approach, and I much appreciate that. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody who has joined us on Zoom and is watching us on YouTube, and those who will be watching us later, because YouTubers don't join on time because they know it will be there, so they watch it later. So we get around 100 viewers to all our Night Sky program, and I'm sure that many Mauritians will benefit from your talk. So as usual, we will finish with a short guided meditation. And thank you for highlighting the use of meditation. Maybe next time we would invite you to talk a little bit more about meditation and its benefit on our health. You're the right person, so that will be for another time. So I invite you all our participants to join us in our meditation to finish today's program. I ask Vaishnavi to please share the visualization, and I'll guide you into the meditation. So I request all of you to sit in an upright position. So you sit relaxed, but the body should be upright, erect. Keep yourself straight on your chair. You can decide to close your eyes or keep them open. If you decide to keep your eyes open, just place it on the point of light you can see on the screen, just to have a focus. So gently, consciously start relaxing your body. Let go of the body on the chair. Feel your feet on the ground. It has been a very hectic day, working day. Maybe the body is tired and heavy. Now, consciously with our mind, let go of that heaviness, that tiredness. Imagine all the tiredness of the body is leaving the body and is going down to the earth under your feet. So I consciously, with the power of my mind, push out all the heaviness, tiredness, stress, pain. And I feel the earth absorbing, taking that away from my body. I now feel much lighter, relaxed. The body is calm, and the mind is getting calm. I focus my attention in the center of the forehead, where the energy of life sits. I start realizing that there is a power that allows this body to move, for life, for the soul. I start seeing myself as that soul, that life force sitting in the forehead. This is my spiritual identity. Yes, I exist as a body on this earth, playing my role. This is my physical identity. But I also have a spiritual identity. I exist on this earth as a soul, a being of light, a spiritual power that keeps the body moving. As a spiritual being, as a soul, I'm the driver of this body. I control this body. As a soul, I use the organs of the body to do what I have to do. I gather information through the senses. But as a spiritual being, as a soul, I'm not the senses, I'm not the physical body. I'm the one sitting behind and taking control over the physical body, over the sense organs. The body, the organs exist because of the soul. The soul leaves the body, everything physical disappears. The body can't exist without the soul. It depends on the soul. It depends on me, the soul. As a soul, I'm master, the king, the Raja of all the organs. And I have the power to take control over all the organs and all the senses and guide them, discipline them in the right direction. The more I practice seeing myself as the being of light, as the force inside, the more I have control over the body and the senses. I am distinct from the physical body. I'm a being of peace, a being of love, a being of light, a being of wisdom. I have the power to think, the power to choose, the power to decide, the power to control the body, all the organs and the senses. I am a soul. I am peace. Om Shanti. Take a long breath through my nose and blow it slowly through my mouth to complete my meditation. Thank you so much for joining me in this short meditation. Very easy to practice. All those who have never practiced meditation, please make it a point because it is one of the important elements to keep ourselves healthy spiritually and physically. So thank you all. Thank you, Professor Sharma, and thank you, Brother Rajesh, and thank you. Thanks to the technical team who was working behind. So thank you all. We meet next Thursday with another topic, interesting, connected to well-being in our life. So wish you a pleasant weekend ahead and meet you next Thursday. Om Shanti and good night. Namaskar.
Namaskar.